Stadium in Cincinnati. For the call, we bring in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. This will be fielded at the 6. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in the zone blitz.
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Devontae Freeman with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. And he knocks it through. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Now Mayfield. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try to find something. There's nothing available there for him.
43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And coming up on their 2nd drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, and it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Quan Alexander in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. 8 yards there helps, but they're still stuck now. 3rd and long coming up.
That was another good run, and he's having an excellent day. And right now, I don't think his team could have any more confidence in handing him the football.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Dalton here from the gun. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down when you want 3. Get a little bit closer, making it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed,
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. And this is going to be incomplete. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you wonder, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. A give. This is Chubb. Bust through the tackle. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
They go with Chubb on second down. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's third down now.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And that is incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point: get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers? It's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Second down, Dalton. Escapes the defender. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Burgess. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Third down from the gun, Dalton. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And a nice gain of 21 yards. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 47. Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. So Dalton now under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Christian Kirksey coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And Eifert has it. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
There's a good push to the tight end, and I think they were looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He's got his man, it's Williams. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Goal line offense, something they've really been emphasizing in practice lately. Now they have a chance here to put all that hard work to use. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. Myles Garrett in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. Operating from the gun. Dalton, this will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A nice job to get 11 out of that pass play, but now they face a 3rd and goal. The Bengals on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. And Dalton to throw. And the Browns' pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This is a 26-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
They go play action. Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
The Browns on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Watch it now, Barney.
To throw, Mayfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Aqib Talib.
When we talk about Aqib Talib, technique is not the word that comes to mind, but don't worry about that. This guy anticipates as well as anyone in the league, and he did just that, picking off another pass.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. On 2nd down, Freeman. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. A handoff, Devontae Freeman. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Call it a gain of a yard as it brings us to the end of the first half. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So we've reached halftime here in the Queen City, and it's the Bengals leading this one. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter.
No. Check. Patriot.
Handoff comes to Chubb. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Watch him now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Room to run past midfield. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. 34 yards there and a first down. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for first and 10.
Patriot. No. Check. Patriot. Watch him now, Barney.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Making the play defensively, Carl Lawson.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
They'll try to throw here. Mayfield drops it off for Chubb. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though.
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. It kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Detroit!
On third down, Mayfield. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a fourth down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Andy Dalton, he goes underneath to Freeman. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Devontae Freeman with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
And now the Browns coming out on the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off around the 27. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bengals defense getting ready to go again. They probably didn't have too much to say over on the sideline with how they're playing right now. Just, hey, give us more of the same.
More of the same is always a good thing when it's going well. When things aren't going so well, that's not the line they want to hear.
And he coughed it up. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, well, he had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Freeman again. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They run. Devontae Freeman. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. And out of the air, Dalton over the middle, complete. It's Burgess. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. Now a play fake here on 1st down. His pass caught at the 4. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more. 2nd and goal, and the lone man in the backfield is Freeman. Here's Dalton, and he fends him off. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Yeah, very smart play right there. Pocket collapsing around him. Love the way he moved around a little bit and avoided the sack. They'll look to run with Freeman. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. Back now in Cincinnati. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And his kick is good. And that will extend the lead out to 24. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th. And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it? And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one. Good word. I like it now because you're exactly right. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Detroit! Detroit!
first down, Mayfield. And this one is incomplete. He was trying to get it to his tight end, David Njoku. And that'll bring up second down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Mayfield down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The Browns on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 14.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watching now, Barney. Barney.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. That's Njoku over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down. From the red zone now, Mayfield. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it'll make it second down.
Detroit!
From the gun, Mayfield. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. In for the score. And the Browns get a score closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Carlson now to kick this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe
that.
bashed it.
Super toe.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Give them 4 on the carry there, but that only takes them back to where they started. 3rd and 10. From the gun, Dalton. Throw left side complete. That's Burgess. Oh, some strong running. A very solid gain of 27. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead. Confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish. Because strategy would tell you, run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Now Freeman, he's been busy today. And again, the run defense stout this time. Scrimmage, but no more. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Now the Bengals on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 11. Passing, it's Dalton. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
They get it to him running left. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.